Hello everyone, today I'll be bringing you a brand new TV show review. Don't usually do TV shows, but every once in a while I like to put them in there just to keep it fresh, I guess. So today we'll be discussing 13 Reasons Why. This is a movie based on a young adult novel. Uh, in the show, this girl named Hannah commits suicide. Not a spoiler, it's literally there in the first episode. And before she dies, she records these tapes, and each side of a tape has a reason why she killed herself. It's a person for each side of the tape of why she killed herself, and there's 13 reasons why she did it. And the main character that we follow in this show, Clay, he gets the tapes and finds out he's one of the people that made her commit suicide. So I have to start with the fact that the acting in the show is very, very wonderfully done. Not a lot of people here that I knew at all. These actors are very new to me. The one that I knew was Dylan Minnette, I think is how you say names. I believe he was in Prisoners and Goosebumps. I think I'm missing something else, but he's been in a couple things. I've seen him before. Uh, so the acting from the start is fantastic. Uh, this show feels very realistic as far as what you know characters say to each other, as far as how they act at times, as far as what these teenagers do. Very realistic, which I love seeing in a show like this. Uh, it's a lot of awesome high school related things that really feel realistic with this. A lot of these things I feel happen in high school. A lot of the way people treat each other. This happens in high school. And part of the reason why I think this show feels so realistic is the fact that it's written very well. Uh, there are like cheesy lines, but even with the cheesy lines and the cheesy things that happen, the cliches that happen, they are real world kind of cheesy cliche things that happen in high school. So it really does work with the rest of the show, and loved how they managed to write that in and not make it seem over the top cheesy, not to the point where you're rolling your eyes at it anyway. It's real world cheese, I guess you could say. Uh, the show is not easy to watch. It deals with rape and drugs and alcohol and violence. And because of that, it is a hard show to watch, and you're not always necessarily wanting to watch it. But it's a show that really builds, and I really like that. I really love how it it just each episode you get more and more intrigued, and it's the tapes I think that really do that. You want to find out, oh, because the first tape you hear the first reason why is kind of really that's why you're gonna kill yourself, but you find out that it builds, like it just turns into a skyscraper of things that happen that make her, at the end just do it, kill herself, and I just love how the show built itself up. Going back to realistic, I think is what I want to get back to with this is the, just for example, in high school, I did not have a cell phone, and I felt like an outcast because of it, which is stupid. It really is the fact that you don't have a cell phone that you're not cool enough or not cool enough. I don't know. You're not as big of a person, and that this show really gets that another realistic situation like that where you you just really get the realism. That's all I want to say. I don't want to spoil anything here. Uh, it also really does have a great message, and it's not. One of my fears in watching the show was the fact that it was going to just beat you over the head with bullying, 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 and it doesn't do that. It does have a message of watch how you treat people, because one little thing could lead up to another and another and another, an explosion, and something we don't want. Uh, as far as negatives go, there are some episodes that are better than others. Some others kind of drag a little bit. They get slow and not as good as some of the others. Very few episodes that do that. And while those episodes do drag at times, I found myself still 100% intrigued with the plot, with the story. Another thing that really bugged me was the ending. The ending leaves a lot unknown. There's like 4 or 5 big things that you want to know what happened, and you don't. Now, I hope It's not because they want to make a second season, because you don't need a second season with this show. It's called 13 Reasons Why. There are 13 episodes, 13 different people. It makes sense. We do not need a second season for this show. So if that is what it's doing at the end there, I really don't like that. If it's in real life, when there is a suicide, it's never ever, there's no closure with suicide. And I think if that's what they're trying to show, is at the end of the day, while Clay's story is technically, it's finished, we get the ending of his story with this, there are a lot of other things that are never going to get closure. And if that's what it's trying to show, is just that message of how suicide's awful and bad and you're never going to get closure from it, I kind of like the ending a little bit more, but I don't necessarily feel that's what they're doing. I think they're setting up that second season. I don't like that. And then I have just a minor nitpick. I can't take points off it necessarily for it. There's some really unrealistic things that happen. Some really unrealistic characters. Some really unrealistic lines and things that happen. And it took me out. It's sprinkled throughout the show. And it wasn't, like I said, I can't take points off for it. In the end, guys, this is a show on Netflix. You can watch it now if you have Netflix. Can I recommend you watching it? Yes, I can. However, it is a hard show to watch. It is depressing. A lot of dark things happen. But it's intriguing, and it builds, and it builds. And that's why I have to recommend this show. In the end, guys, I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10. So, guys, did you watch 13 Reasons Why? Are you interested in seeing 13 Reasons Why after hearing this? Comment below, let me know, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you soon.